What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Schrishzen Thoughts. Shout out to my subscribers. Shout out to anybody new coming across this channel. Comments and feedback are always welcome. If you like what you hear, feel free to subscribe. So, recently I've been thinking about the idea of trusting the process. And when going through things, I've come to learn, from experience at least, that the process turns out to kind of be the best part. Example being, or where I get this from at least, is that the process that you're going through to achieve something is the part that you generally remember the most. You remember the difficulties that you had, you remember the improvements that you made, or the adjustments that you had to make, or the points in time when things didn't quite go as according to as you had planned, and you had to slide in with some form of adjustment to it. But either way, it's the process that's the most memorable part, because that's what you use at any point in time going forward to build from. If you're just handed something, or you get that idea, if you were to actually be able to get what you wanted when you wished for it, if you were just like, oh, I wish I could be stress-free, boom, done, all stress gone. If somebody's to say to you, well, how'd you do it? You wouldn't really be able to answer them. Say I asked for it and it was poofed out, cool, that doesn't work for everybody else, now what is somebody else supposed to do? But if you've gone through it, at the very least you have an experience to look back on, reflect on, and use, and give as an example. So that's where going through the process is kind of the best part. I won my fantasy football leagues. I won 2 of them this year, and the part that I remember most isn't the last day when all of the games completed and I realized that I've come out with 2 victories. It was the points in mid-season when my teams had started to collapse in ways that they had in the past, and the decisions that I remember making that didn't work, that I then turned around and changed and adjusted to get through this season. And it was like, that's the part that I remember the most, is the process, the work that went into the middle, the paying attention to stats, the staying up to date on stuff, the constant checking, and like that's the part that I remember, and that's the part that I'm going to now, going into next season, reflect on and carry out things from, not from the last day. Or on the last day, I feel like I made some terrible decisions. They happened to work out, but I made a couple really bad decisions, but that still doesn't stand out more. And that's not what I'm pulling from in the end. If there were certain things that led me to a win, then yes, the win you could say ties in, and that's where you're pulling from there, but you're really pulling from the process that got you to that win. Granted, I get it. This isn't exactly related to the idea of trusting the process. I know, I get it. I know that that's a separate idea, but this is what sparked my thought this week in that realm, was the idea of trusting the process, and then what it is that's about the process anyway that makes any difference. And to me, it's the process that gives you your examples of your tools that you may have developed over time, putting them to use, and in the process is when you see what how those tools work and how utilizing them works, where you do well, where you do bad, whatever. So I say that to say, don't skip the process. Embrace the work, because it's the work that's most memorable. It's the work that you use to build off of. Hope you enjoy. Subscribe, hit the bell icon, and get updates. Otherwise, you'll never see when I make videos. But I am going to be keeping up an upload schedule of a sort. So hop on board. Comments and feedback, like I said, are always welcome. Peace.